Hello there. Do come in and take a seat. So, my name is Dr. Clegg. Nice to meet you. Fantastic. So we did get your email last week, and of course this is our first session together. Now, the first thing that I like to tell my patients when they first come to the clinic is to understand that therapy isn't a one quick fix. Okay? So it will take time to heal. It will take time to process your emotions. And unfortunately, we will be in it for the long game. But that's not to frighten you. That's just to set expectations. Life has a funny way of giving us highs and lows, and my job is to help you navigate them better. Yeah. So of course I have a general background from your email, but it would be lovely if you could divulge a little further to me in person now. Do you feel comfortable doing that? Fantastic. And if at any point you don't feel comfortable, just say, Dr. Clegg, take a step back, and we can pause for a moment, okay? Fantastic. Well, go ahead. How have you been feeling lately? Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, I just want to say what you're going through right now is very normal. I think the first thing we need to do is go through the process of acceptance and just accept that what you're feeling now, although may not be ideal, is completely normal. And there are millions of other people right now in your position. Yeah. So try to take solace in knowing that you're not alone, and there are countless people all around the world needing the same help as you. Okay. I'm just going to type up some notes if that's okay. It helps if we keep a record just so we can track the process throughout the various sessions. So yes, as I was saying, what you are describing is actually very common around this time of year. So you're not falling behind, you're not failing. Yeah, understood? Perfect. Because many of my patients do feel guilt, and I always say to my patients, kindly but quite sternly, please leave guilt at the door. You've got nothing to feel guilty about, okay? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, with it being January, of course, after Christmas and New Year, there's often a sudden drop in stimulation, connection, and structure. Yeah. Although not a medical term, I say to a lot of my patients, there is a feeling of post-Christmas blues at this time of year, which just almost emulsifies the underlying problems. Now, we must recognise that because things have ended, it doesn't mean that that is the cause for your feelings, okay? Because I know in your email you did mention that this time of year hits you hard because of the end of the festivities. Yeah. But that end could signal more things than just the baseline Christmas and New Year celebrations ending, okay? And it's our job today to delve just a that little bit deeper. And if you feel comfortable sharing with me exactly how you're feeling, it will help us to formulate a plan going forwards. Okay. Fantastic. So yeah, just to reiterate, nothing you're feeling sounds wrong nor excessive. It sounds human. Yeah. And at this point, just take a deep breath in. Hold. And now exhale. We will carry on doing breathing exercises throughout the session, and when things may feel just that little bit heavy, we can pause for a break, take in our surroundings, and understand that you are allowed this time to feel, you are allowed this time to process. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, just to talk a little bit more about the post-Christmas blues and how we can navigate this initial hurdle that you're facing this year. Okay, so of course December is full of anticipation, routine changes, and there's of course more social contact. And then of course it suddenly all stops. And I think that emotional come down for many people is a trigger, I would call it, and often it can feel a little bit more heavier than we were anticipating, especially if we've lived through many Christmases as an adult. We often think we'll be able to get through the next one just fine, but life isn't always that simple. And of course, we tend to put on a brave face at Christmas, and we tend to hold ourselves together just that little bit more of the festive period to show our loved ones that we're okay and not worry them. And this social masking can actually build up without you realising, and this can lead to burnout, it can lead to exhaustion, and it can lead to depression. So we want to make sure that we stop anything that could be festering. Okay? Yes. So it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you again. This is something, I will reiterate, is very, very common. It just often means your nervous system is catching up to the routine change. Yeah. So if you could describe to me exactly how you're feeling in this moment right now after we've discussed. Okay. So, you feel like you've done a lot of self-reflecting with it being the new year, right? And that ultimately has led you to come here to the clinic. Yeah, well, of course, the new year is the time when many of us set resolutions. Yeah, well, that's an amazing resolution to work on yourself this year. And you've done them very, very well, making them first steps, coming here today to see me. So if you don't feel anything from this session, this first session, please just know that I am proud of you. Your family would be proud of you for getting help, and there's absolutely no shame, and that should be liberating. Okay, so there's that feeling of comparison between yourself and your peers. Okay. So you're seeing other people post online, reflecting on their past year has had you doubting your professional and personal capabilities. That's a very, very common again, but very tough thing to deal with. Just seeing what I would like to call a small trigger online can lead to a full spiral. So whenever you feel like pressure is mounting, or you may not be in the most positive headspace, please, one thing I would recommend is to limit your screen time, because social media has unfortunately driven a lot of mental health complications. And new cases as well. Yes. I would say, and many other therapists would say, you don't have to reinvent yourself in January. Just small little adjustments like coming here and getting some help is all you need to do at this point. You're not behind. Life isn't a race. And you should take solace in knowing that every single person that has achieved something great will meet the same fate as us all. So no matter how big or small your accomplishments may be in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. So it sounds silly when you speak it out loud like that, but truly reframing things and understanding that although your feelings are very valid, there's no material difference to your life or theirs if you don't achieve absolutely everything. And I often find it is the high achievers or the people that set themselves goals at this time of year that do struggle, especially if they are facing an underlying mental health condition. Yeah. Yes. So there's no deadline on becoming who you are meant to be. Right. I just want to check in. Are you doing okay? Okay. Fantastic. So, one thing you did mention, and again, you probably will guess what I'm about to say, but another thing which is very common at this time of year is feeling trapped, especially when we have to return to a routine that was outside of our normal during the Christmas period. Readjusting to going back to work and facing deadlines, tasks, duties and responsibilities can be very daunting for many people. And yeah, I know. I'm sure you are aware, and I suppose in the grand scheme of things it might not make anything more easy for you, but just recognising that there are so many people in the same boat as you are right now should be something you can take with you today and just put your mind at rest. Just a little bit. Yeah. So, of course, feeling stuck. I'll just write some notes again. Feeling stuck at work often brings a sense of being boxed in or even powerless. Do you feel powerless? Powerless, okay. So when work takes up most of your week, dissatisfaction can then spill into other areas of your life, and if you were not ready to go back to work, this can further initiate feelings of sadness and despair. Yeah. And feeling trapped doesn't always mean that you'll be stuck. It usually means that something needs attention or adjustment. So could I ask you this question? It's a difficult question, but where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Okay, fantastic. So you do have plans, you do have goals. Yes. And it's so the key issue here is that you don't think you're going to be able to achieve them. Now, I'm not usually one for recommending the use of AI when it comes to mental health, so I would strictly recommend that you distinguish between your use of AI when I do recommend the next thing to you, okay? But I would recommend that if you could put into a chatbot exactly where you are today, where you want to be in 5 years' time, AI can give you a reliable breakdown of absolutely all the steps that you would need to take. I'm sure you probably know many of them, but just seeing it planned out can be really beneficial. And in fact, would like to just mention we have our own in-house AI system that is built to ensure safety. Yes. Still, I wouldn't ask it too many questions surrounding mental health at this point in time. I would use it mainly for planning and setting goals, and once we have followed up in further sessions, I can recommend you on best practice to use it throughout the other processes that we will discuss, okay? Fantastic. So there will be more details emailed over to you. Yeah, but that is something I would recommend. And if you find that you don't think you have the capacity to be able to reach that 5-year goal, then reevaluation can be a great thing to go through. And this is something we can discuss on further here. Yes, and we do have highly recommended career coaches that we can supply you the details of. So that's another little nuisance in your life, that little nagging thought, that little nagging feeling that hopefully we can put out to pasture with either a clear plan of direction or a reevaluation with one of our career coaches. Okay? Yeah. And for now, my grounding suggestion would be sometimes the first step isn't changing the job, but giving yourself permission to admit that it's hard. Okay? Give yourself the permission to admit that what you do and what you go through every single day is difficult, is hard, is complex, and know that you have value in what you do. Imposter syndrome can be a very difficult symptom to navigate at this time of year especially. Yes, I myself have felt these feelings before, but going through them, grounding exercises, those little statements just to put you back down, put you back into reality. That, my friend, is the key to success. Now, you don't need to solve everything today. As I said earlier on, it's a process. And we can just sit with how it feels for a moment without judgment. Okay? Again, take a deep breath in. Hold it. And exhale. Right then. Right. So as we said, grounding is a great exercise and reframing is another one. So many people feel like they're late to life, but life doesn't run on a single timeline. As we said earlier on, that is reframing. And what looks like delay is often recovery. What looks like delay is often recovery. And, of course, how many times will I say this? We can take this one calm step at a time. Now, before we end today's session, I think we have covered some pivotal steps in your journey to feeling better, feeling more content within your life, and feeling more secure ultimately in what you do and who you are. Okay? Now, be honest with me. Be completely honest. I'm here to be your therapist, so your feedback is crucial to how we progress. Okay? So do you feel like you've had any reassurance here with me today? Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being extremely anxious and 0 being completely calm, where do you currently fall? Okay. And has our interaction today ultimately made you want to continue with more sessions? Perfect. Well, session 1 is always just a little introduction, just to go over the key details that we receive in the initial email. But as you have answered that you want to continue with more sessions, this is the point where I would like to outlay that there is just a little bit of homework for you to continue with throughout the week, and then when you come back next week for session number 2, we can reconnect and we can discuss, okay? Yes. So homework piece number 1 would be to use our new AI tool as mentioned to plan where you would like to be in 5 years' time. Talk with it, discuss. As I said, at this point in time, don't use it for mental health confirmation or clarification. Simply use it as a planning exercise. Fantastic. And yes, there's just one more homework exercise I would like to do. I'd like you to go away today and list the top 5 things in your life that you feel holds you back from feeling your best self, your most content self. And if you could do that for me, that would be absolutely incredible. Thank you. Wonderful. And as I mentioned earlier on, we will be sending you that link as well as some information for breathing exercises. So when you come back, I hope you will have had a quick look through them exercises. And if you don't get a chance, that's fine, because we can always discuss it in further sessions. In fact, usually session 3 is where we really work on the physical element, but I'll attach it in the email for you today, just in case you want to get a little head start. But as I said, it's one step at a time. And just remembering that is very, very crucial to the process. Okay. Well, it was lovely to speak with you today, and I'm glad we've made just a little bit of progress. Fantastic. Well, I really do look forward to seeing you again. It was great seeing you, and you have a safe travel home. Fantastic. See you later. Bye.